Hello everybody. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helps you or somebody you know so that they don't have the same thing that happened to me happen to them. Now for everyone that's from my channel, this is going to be a little bit of a different video than you're used to. This video is going to be giving some more information, more details on the scam that I was taken advantage of by for my job that I thought I was going to get. So I hope you guys can also stay through this and watch it. It could help you for the future or right now, or it could also help someone else that you know. But let's get into it. So basically, a few weeks ago, I was looking for a job. I only had one part-time job. I need more money. I needed another part-time job with it. And after a lot of applying to jobs and going on different websites, I found a job on a website called Upwork. Now, Upwork is a legit website with legit higher paying customers and companies on there. So it's not their fault. But I found a job on there, and it was administrative assistant / customer service. It was supposed to be for a company called Abiomed, Abiomed. So I applied for it, and they wanted an interview with me, and I did the interview. Now the weird thing was when I went to the interview, I'm sorry, it was an online interview, by the way, through Google Hangouts, because it's a work from home position. Now I've worked work from home job in the past for a legit company, and those aren't fake. There are legit work from home jobs. They are growing. I'd recommend making sure it's from a company that does work from home jobs. Abiomed is a huge medical company, but they don't do work from home jobs. So that's the difference. So I went to the interview, and the lady never showed up that was supposed to do the interview for me. I gave her 15-20 minutes, messaged her, she never answered, nothing happened. So eventually I just said forget it, and I figured I'm not going to get the job. Well, that night, after I was done with work, I checked my email, and she did message me back and say she had an important meeting with the board of directors. And it was an emergency meeting, so that's why she couldn't show up to the interview. So that's what happened. Now, of course, because this job was a good opportunity for me and the pay was decent, I wanted to give it one more chance. So we said we'll do the interview the next morning. Next morning comes, and she did do the interview. Now, she was a little bit late, but not too bad. And that's normal, and that's not something that you would, say it's a scam because they're late, because that's something not as detailed. Now, I did the interview. It is a very, very detailed and intense interview, like a regular interview. There was a lot of real questions that people would ask. There was a lot of, went into details. It was pretty elaborate. And so I tried to razzle-dazzle them and do what you normally do in an interview and really prove my worth. And she said that she would give her about 10 minutes. She's going to talk to the board of directors. Now, normally in a job interview, if you don't have a chance, or if it's a maybe situation, they'll say they'll get back to you, and that will pretty much be the end of it. Normally, if they either are interested or hire you on the spot or want to just check with someone, that's usually a good sign. So she went to talk to them. I stayed, online, obviously, and waited for a response. And I got a response about 15 minutes or so later. It was about the right amount of time. And she said, due to my experience and my commitment to want to, sort of grow in the company and do good, all the stuff I said in the interview that was great, they're going to hire me. So they offered me the job. Now, I'm going to try to go through this a little bit quicker through the process so you guys can just know the landmark points. Because this did go on for about 2 or 3 weeks total. Just because I also had a job at the time. So I couldn't talk to them or do anything times that I had the job or times that I was working on stuff. So it was a little bit limited to me. So throughout this time, they gave me 1 or 2 little assignments to do, which I did and emailed back to them. To make it seem legit. They also had me sign a contract with Abiomed, and the pay for training was the pay that I expected. However, I was told on the contract after the training is done, my pay actually increases, which was amazing for me. It was at that moment, I really felt super excited that I finally had a work from home job that was going to be a lot of work and sort of tough, but I could handle and do, and would pay a lot of money, enough money to completely change my life. It would not only pay my bills, it would allow me to maybe hire people for the channel, save up some money, pay off my house early. It was a substantial amount of money to change my life. However, I soon found out it was false. So throughout this process, I was looking them up, and the person who was recruiting me for the company, I looked her up, and she had a LinkedIn account. And I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry. So on the LinkedIn account, she made it very legit. It looked like she worked with Abiomed. She had another job with them. The client, it looks like she worked with other clients. It was very well done. There was a lot of other things that they did to make it very well done. Their actual email had Abiomed in it. However, it was not abiomed.com. I later found out, it's abiocareers.com or something. So it's close, but it's not the same. And that's what the scammers do. They make it close to that. So unless it's the legit one, it's not them. So that was one of the things. So basically what she did was she gave me a check to print off and deposit my account using my mobile cell phone so that it would get deposited soon. Because it was 4th of July around the holidays and the time that I applied for the job was, before that was the end of the month, she was saying finance was busy and, a little backed up, sending it out would be a little longer. So I did that, and it hit 4th of July, so obviously it had to process, and they were very understanding. They were really, really good at, saying, okay, we'll wait for it to process and not bounce, which made it seem even more not like a scam. Well, the next day, the 5th of July, the finance person messaged me and said he'll be talking to me from now on. The original person's on vacation, and he was talking to me about the money and stuff. Said still not processed because of the holiday, which he understood, so we gave that an extra day. Now, during that time, when we were giving it the extra day, that is when I discovered that it was a scam on Abiomed's website. At the bottom of careers, which I don't really think is in a very good spot, there is something there about the scam detailed with it, where they talk to you on Google Hangouts, just typing, and some of the things that they were doing. So I had to then call the FBI, report it to them. I did offer for them, to help them so that they can track them down, keep talking to them on Google Hangouts the next day so they can trace back to where it was, or try to. But they said they get too many people, so they just can't do it at this time. They don't have the time. So that was all well and good. So I messaged them. I messaged both the people and said, it's a scam. I don't think very highly of you. I know about it's been reported to the FBI. Blah, 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 blah. Don't contact me again. So the girl never said anything else. That was it. She was done. But the guy, the finance person, claimed that it was not a scam. Now, normally in every other situation, I would just have stopped, blocked them, ended it, it's over. But I decided for you guys watching this video that I would go one step further just to see what he said and just to find out more details on this, to see what other further stuff the scam involves. I also forgot to mention I did report the check to the bank as fraud, which we'll get into in a few minutes how that ended up screwing me over in the end, which is sort of sad if you think about it, because I'm the victim, but that's just how things go sometimes. So I messaged him and I said, it is a scam. You don't work for Abiomed. I've already researched. And so he ended up admitting we had a very long conversation, but he ended up admitting that I'm correct, he doesn't work for Abiomed. He has a job that pays the same amount that he told me it pays, but it's not quite the exact same job as what he said. He said he's put up posts for the job that he has, and no one actually applied for it. So he was using Abiomed just to get someone to actually apply. so that he can, have his real job. Supposedly, it was a small little organization that helps out um, orphanages and people that are in need. And basically, he has different sponsors and people that give money. That's how he gets the money to pay for it. And I would be helping to give stuff to these orphanages and people in need. That would be the supplies. That would be how they give me the money, and all that kind of stuff. So I continued to talk to him, and I said that's probably not the best way to go about this. So I told him that I would continue if we made sure we did every single thing more legit than what it was done right now. So we went through it all. Now we're still waiting for this check to go. And I said, I wanted to check with the bank and see what's going on with this. So I checked with the bank. And I explained it sort of to them as I know it's a scam. And they ended up calling the bank of that the check was from. And it turns out that the bank account number on that check is false. It's not a real bank account through them. It's a fraud check. And so that was officially settled with that. Basically, the money would be reversed. And, obviously taken out of my account and, given back to the rightful bank, and everything would be fixed. However, that caused me to have my bank account locked so that nothing bad would happen to it. No transactions could be made. And it was supposed to, after a week, mark it for being closed. However, after a few days, the money was reversed. And I called my bank to make sure everything was good. And it told me that my bank account was closed. Due to the protection, the way the bank worked, it ended up marking it for closing early anyways. And I had to try to fight with them to keep it open. I have one or two things that get automatically paid through that. And I never gave them my bank account or anything like that. So, I didn't want those things to be affected. My mortgage for my house automatically gets paid through that. And, it's terrible. So they were able to reopen my bank account. However, because it was already marked for closing, they send you the balance, like whatever money's in there, as a check, which I still haven't received yet. And then you would redeposit the check into your account. So my account was at $0 balance. Had to transfer some money from my savings so it wasn't $0 in my bank account. And it's going to cause me some issues. I also decided for my protection to sign up for some identity theft protection, which I'm going to have to pay a few dollars extra a month for that. But it's because of what happened to me now. There's nothing really I can do. I have to make sure that I'm careful. And if anyone does have anything like this happen to them, definitely do identity theft protection. It's pretty cheap and affordable, and it's there to protect you and help you. I did mine through Geico, not sponsored, not advertising, nothing like that. That's just who I ended up going with because I have car insurance through them anyways, and they are usually pretty good prices in general, and they're quick and easy to get a hold of. So I did that, and so we're getting to the end of this story because pretty much at that point when the check was false, I told him that, and I blocked him, and I've never heard from him again since. So, so I just want to go over the main points here. Basically, if you see a job online, it doesn't, and it's work from home, even if it's not work from home, it doesn't always mean it's a scam. However, you really need to use some very careful ways to make sure. If it's claiming to be like for a big company, check on that company's website or actually contact that company first and make sure that it's real before you even consider applying. If it is some other type of thing, you can also make sure on Upwork that they have their payment verified. If that's where you're choosing to get a job, obviously you're going to other places, whatever. Never pay them any money, which I didn't do. And just be careful when you give them your information. The best way is to try to look it up as much as you can. But if there's anyone recruiting for Abiomed specifically or other types of jobs like that, don't do it. If they give you a check for supplies, usually that's also a red flag. Because what happens is once that check gets deposited, even if it did clear, sometimes they'll have bank accounts and they'll put money in there. What they can do is, once you spend some of the money, it's not even all the money necessarily. Once you spend some of it first, they will then stop payment on that check, which will reverse the money and take it out of your account. And usually the places you're buying the supplies from will actually be them. So you won't get the supplies. They'll get the money from your bank account and you'll be done. I guess you're allowed to stop payment on checks like that, even if they're legit. So that is a problem. When you work for a real company and you have a legit contract with that company working for them, it's illegal for them to stop payments on your like direct deposit or your check for your job. That's why jobs can't do what the scam people do, because the scam people don't really have the contract with you and don't really have the legit employment. They were also using me as an independent contractor, which can be a little, I don't want to get anyone not doing that type of thing, because that's a great thing to do and it allows you a lot of freedom. But that unfortunately is a risk, because you're not just working for a company. I want to end this on a good note, though. Feel free to leave any comments or questions in the description below if you have any for me. I would love to help you out with that. If you also have any other types of job scams or something, don't put every kind of scam, because there are other kinds of scams. But any kind of job scam or something, feel free to put that in the description so that people can check it out. And while I'm trying to help even just 1 or 2 people from getting taken advantage of by this and totally ruining possibly some of their future, or making it more difficult, I can't do it all alone. So this is where you come in. Please, just take 30 seconds to a minute and share this video on social media. Share this with people. I'm asking that you put the hashtag #Don'tBeScammed. And this is not to get a lot of views on the video to make me money. This video will not be monetized. This video will not have links leading to my channel or tags related to my channel. This video is specifically to just get the word out to as many people as possible. So if you are a YouTuber with a following, if you are a viewer who knows some of the, share it with anyone you can. You don't know who, when they're going to come upon something like this, and I really want to get the word out about my situation and about other ones that maybe even in the comments we'll get a few unique ones that I've never heard of. So please share it. It would mean a lot to me. I just really want to help people with this. This is the whole purpose of this video. It means a lot to me, and I truly think that these people that do scam type of things, whether it's for a job or something else, to get money that way in a sneaky, illegal, terrible way, they are the scum of the earth. I hate them. I think bad things of them, and I do realize that there's one big risk making this video, that I can be attacked by some of them, possibly. And my mom didn't want me to make this video, but I just feel so strongly that I need to help, and it's for a good cause, that I could not make the video. I can't have me and the terrible things that happen to me not turn into something good. I can't do that. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking through the whole video. From the bottom of my heart, it means a lot. And that's pretty much it. I hope you don't have to deal with any of this kind of stuff. And I hope you truly have a great present and future. Goodbye.